Uh, can we just allow the learners to occupy their seats? This is probably a password that you like to keep on your site. Whilst we are allowing the learners to take their seats, we've got a Wi-Fi password. The Wi-Fi only works in the lobby. You must take enough pictures, connect to the Wi-Fi later on, and post. So we've given you free Wi-Fi just so that you can post some of the photos. Let me take this opportunity to open this session. We are about to start. It's late in the afternoon, so this session is not going to be very long, to allow those who need to take public transport home. Let me welcome everyone for making it to the session. We really apologize. There was a slight delay. Initially, we were planning to start at 2. We had to move this session to 4 o'clock to allow the premier to be the one that gives the keynote speech. We really apologize. I'm sure there will be those who wanted to make it earlier on. We also apologize for those, but we are happy with the turn-up that has made it to this session. It's a very small program. It's a very tight program. Let me just acknowledge the premier. The premier and his team. It's a team of MECs seated on this podium. Is the premier and the MECs. We also have the executive mayor of Sopleki Municipality and the executive mayor of Francis Barrett Municipality in our midst. To start the program, we're gonna call the executive mayor just to come and give us an opening and welcome to this particular session. Mr. Mayor.
Oh, thank you very much, Program Director, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, members of the Legislature, mayors and executive mayors, heads of departments, leadership and management of NEDA, representatives of CETAs, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a sense of great excitement and appreciation that we gather here today to be part of this groundbreaking epoch in the Northern Cape province. This event is a product of the vision of the Premier of the Northern Cape, who upon in his inauguration in 2019 announced that the province will establish a state-owned company to drive infrastructure development and create much needed capacity within the state. There is no doubt that this move will revolutionize the manner in which the provincial government does business and build capacity amongst SMMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand the role of government in the development of socio-economic infrastructure in order to bring about improvement in economic growth and development. Part of the program is targeted at empowering SMMEs and creating capacity amongst them to grow and be part of the mainstream economy in the province. Various studies confirm that a vibrant and active SMME is key and central to any economic recovery and growth and enter a new era of business unusual. Let us also appreciate the potential challenges that may arise as we continue to traverse this new path. Our societies are still reeling from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has in the main paralyzed many economies around the globe. While we are cognizant of the reality that the virus is still in our midst, we need to forge ahead with the opening of the economy in order to strengthen our outlook and create jobs. This initiative is one of the through which young people in the province can be recruited to not only get employed, but get the requisite experience and exposure in a. The latest employment survey suggests that unemployment is the youngest amongst young people. People that are between the ages of 18 and 35 years are the most affected. Our young people are unemployed within our country. And if that not is given attention, it is going to plunge serious crises within our country. The state will always be a catalyst for the development of the economy of us at all material times, take the lead in all socio-economic developments. I wish to make a clarion call to the business world to join hands with us and use this vehicle to embrace and advance the interests of the people of the province by supporting the initiative as undertaken by the provincial government. As a municipality, we wish to state our full support for this initiative and hope to make a meaningful contribution in any way that may assist in ensuring the growth of the state company. As part of the intergovernmental relations, we are fully behind this program. In conclusion, Honorable Premier, I wish to thank the leadership of NIDA for having working tirelessly to ensure that we reach this important milestone. A special thank you to you, Honorable Premier, for your visionary leadership and making sure that the address, you did make mention that this program is going to take place and really it is taking place. Comrade Chair Oyakub, thank you very much.
No, thanks, Mr. Mayor. We've been working very hard for the past 2 years just to conceptualize and make sure that when we have this program, it's a program that will take us into the future. I know there is concerns about other small companies, SMMEs, who are thinking that this company is going to take their job. No. This is a company that's also going to assist SMMEs to really then grow. I think let me not get into the project itself. Let me take this opportunity then to welcome the just to come and give us an overview of the project itself. Can we give him a big round of applause?
Thank you, Program Director. Honorable Premier, Dr. Zamani Sol, all colleagues present, all MECs, the two executive mayors from both the district as well as the local municipality, the HODs that are present, all the beneficiaries, members from the different media houses that are present, and all guests invited to this important event. As Six Administration, we committed ourselves through the pronouncements of the Premier in his first State of the Province address in 2019 to rapidly advance the fight against poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Today, we have the pleasure and the privilege to join you to launch the Northern Cape Construction Company at an event of this nature. Our Premier and all of us as the leadership of the Sixth Administration are committed to the launching not only of the Northern Cape Construction Company, but to also make sure that it is entrenched in the operations of government in all sector. Major infrastructure projects are unfolding. A tremendous intergovernmental effort and today we are proud to announce and share with you the launch of this Northern Cape Construction Company. As with any other initiative construction company, a brick by brick project will be in phases, will follow the next brick, which will actually also mean the next phase. We have invested a lot of research as well as funding to develop a model that will be feasible, that will be able to stand the test of time. And we are excited to say that priorities for the enterprise development as well as employment creation and empowerment will go a long way to transform and localize the construction sector. Today's launch is but only the start for us as the Sixth Administration. The real work starts today to ensure that we create a competent and well-graded construction local industry to maximize local economic development and to prepare for the advent of many developments to happen in the province of the Northern Cape. For the harbour and green hydrogen revolution that will be unfolding in the Namakwa district, in particular Alexander Bay and Port Nolloth as well. As a public and private sector, we will have to consolidate all budgets and efforts to advance the Northern Cape Construction Company. And the invite stands. And it now gives me the pleasure to not introduce the Premier of the Northern Cape, but to present the Premier as the leader of the government in the province project, and as well the first phase, as well as the beneficiaries that will be actually benefiting from this process. Can we then join hands and put our hands together for the Premier of the Northern Cape, Dr. Zamani Saul.
Thank you very much, MEC Fosler. And let me then take this opportunity to greet everyone inside here. I see we've got, how many MECs? Yeah, it's a lot. I can actually convene a cabinet meeting now. Yeah, and let me also welcome the HODs that are here and other public servants, and welcome our guests to this very important event when we are launching on the 1st of August the Northern Cape Construction Company. We struggled with the name for a very long time. What do we call this construction company? And I know lots of names got rejected by, what is this body that registers company? Yeah, the name basically got rejected on several occasions, but here we are now. And I think it's also important to mention that today is also the first day of our new police commissioner in the province, General Sithole. No. General Otola General Otola. It was a hectic weekend and a hectic Monday as well. Is General Otola. She started her first day today as the police commissioner for the Northern Cape. As a province, we firmly believe that that's an outstanding appointment. She's a very seasoned career police woman. She's been in the service from 1989 and she's been around, went through the ranks, and a very capable individual. And we are deeply impressed and thankful to the National Minister for her appointment. So today we are here to launch this company after we've closed the most important months in terms of our efforts of building the economy of the Northern Cape. I just want to give some of our guests here a brief background. When we started in 2019, the GDP of the province, they call it the GDP per region, was 98 billion. And the latest figure that we got is that our GDP is standing at 122 billion. Despite what our executive mayor has mentioned, that we went through COVID and the difficulties that COVID came with, the adverse impact it had on the economy. We almost managed to grow the economy of the Northern Cape over the past 3 years with about 24 billion rand. So every time when the Stats SA announces the labor trends in the province, people always ask a question, but how did it happen? Our official unemployment in the Northern Cape is standing at 24.9%. In a consistent decrease in official unemployment. 24.9, the lowest in the country. And if you look carefully, there's a between the growth of our gross domestic product per region and the trends in the labor sector, that unemployment is going down in the Northern Cape. With the last report of Stats SA, there's been significant decline, expanded unemployment from 50 to 45%, which was a decline of 5.7%, the highest in the country, highest decline in the country. We've got a hard to abate expanded unemployment, and we are busy reducing expanded unemployment. And the only explanation how we are able to do that is to look at the growth of the gross domestic product. What that means, when you've got a growth of the domestic product, that simply means that there are more people in the economy of the Northern Cape. And the two biggest sectors of investment is renewable energy and as well as mining. There's massive investment that is taking place in that front, which enables us to reduce the hard to abate unemployment. This unemployment has got a face. The face of unemployment is young people. Of the 24.9% unemployed, 53% thereof is young people, which means right at the cold face of unemployment, we've got thousands of young people who are without jobs. That's the reason why the first intake of this company is young people. I can say, I'm certain you can see it's young people who are seated aside. First intake focusing on young people, because government, together with the private sector, in a collaborative way, will have to find a way of tackling youth unemployment. It It's becoming a national emergency. It's becoming a national crisis. So we'll have to put our efforts together to ensure that we get young people in productive employment. That's one of the reasons why we are establishing this company. But one of the biggest challenges that we have as the province, that's one of the issues which was mentioned by Stats SA, is not job opportunities, but it's structural unemployment, a mismatch between our skill set and the opportunities which are there. That's our biggest challenge. We are the only province in the country where people who finished matric, it's only 27%. And people with post-matric qualification, it's only 3%. Post-matric qualification is 3% of the population. People with high school education, it's 27%. And with a modernizing economy. So the large pool of unemployment in the province is unskilled labor, which is difficult to absorb in the mainstream modernizing economy of this country and the province as well. Hence, we agreed that with the first phase of this program, these young people who have been absorbed, the numbers will increase. They will be subjected to a month-long training in pothole patching and resealing. Accredited training. Because there is a much greater and increasing need for that. Right throughout the country and as well as in the province. So first part of their intake is training. We need to get young people trained in order for them to have gainful employment. So that's what we'll be doing, and which will speak basically to one of the primary objectives for the establishment of the company. One of that primary objective is to be an incubator for skills development particularly for young people. So any young person that goes through this corridor of the Northern Cape construction will live there with some form of artisanal skills. And that's what basically the apartheid government did in 1962 when they established the Department of Public Works. Then when they established it in 1962, it was called the Departement van Publieke Werke. And when the apartheid regime established it, was to address one pertinent question. It's poor white. That was the reason why this department, which Song is leading now, I see the new HOD seated there. If you go into the history books, you'll see it was established in 1962. It was to address the question of poor whites. Because the apartheid regime could not tolerate a poor white. They could not tolerate seeing a poor white. So they established it. Lots of the white artisans now, they are products of that program which started in 1962. That's the reason why most of our artisans are about 50 years, 55, 60 years old. And that department could successfully do that. So that's what we'll have to do as government. If we say there's a mismatch between our skill set and the opportunities which are there in the market, we've got a large pool of unskilled labor force, but particularly young people. If unemployment, we have to tackle that. That's what we'll have to tackle. Young people who gets out of this program, gets out of this company, can go and find decent job elsewhere for themselves. So I'm certain you guys are listening to this. Yeah. So that's one objective that we want to address. The second one, we say that there should be an incubator for small businesses in the construction environment. That's what this company should do. You know, the small businesses in the construction environment, it gets a tender of 500,000 now. Seal the potholes in Kimberley or in Soplaji or anywhere else in the province. You do some shoddy resealing, the line the company's got no cent. Because of quite a number of things which are contributing to that. It's quite a number of things. Owner of the company not having adequate knowledge on how to start and run this thing. How project management skills and a whole lot of things. So there's a project now, there's no project within the next 2 months. The company must be closed, becomes inactive and all of that. So we need to assist our small businesses. One of the biggest economy in Europe, which is Germany, they managed to build that economy on the back of small enterprises. The ones that appoint 10, 15, 20 people. And it's now Europe's, because as soon as you've got strong enterprises which are sustainable, they add in life and vibrancy in the economy. So the Northern Cape Construction Company must assist small businesses, give them the necessary training, and ensure that these small businesses becomes very sustainable. And so that's one of the reasons. And the third reason is that the establishment of this company should ensure that there is accelerated rollout of social and in the main social infrastructure, because the company will basically source work from our budget. We've got almost 4.3 billion rand infrastructure budget in the Northern Cape. And in terms of our target, is that at its peak, this company should have capacity to implement 30% of that budget. What is 30% of 4 billion? The accountants are here, the clever people. Yeah, should be about 1.something billion able to do that. Yeah, and 30% of the 4 billion rand infrastructure rollout in the province. And the other 70% will be subjected to the normal procurement processes. I met owner of a construction company who said he must move his company from the Northern Cape to another province. And I asked why. He said, you guys are launching a construction company. What does that have to do with the sustainability of your company? No, all the government work. No, it's not like that. And we've been communicating this thing over and over again, that at its peak, this company will be able to implement 30% of our CAPEX, that is capital expenditure, at its peak, not even this year. And 70% will be subjected to your normal procurement processes, which means there's still massive opportunities for construction companies in the province, and also taking into cognizance the fact that we met with the National Minister of Finance to give sense and implement what the President mentioned, that we are going to look at a different funding model for infrastructure in the province. So we are working on a front-loading process where we are going to ensure that there is increased funding for particularly our schools, roads, and as well as health facilities. So that's basically what we are. And so all of this, if you aggregate all of these efforts, it's just to ensure that we grow the economy of the Northern Cape. And I firmly believe that the establishment of the Northern Cape Construction Company will add value to that. And as I have already mentioned for the Northern Cape, we got concrete commitment by Transnet to the construction of the Bogo Bay Port and Rail project. Concrete commitment, 13 billion rand project. And those who are interested in infrastructure rollout and the nature of these projects, you'll see that this week, the request for information will go out from Transnet on the construction of the Bogo Bay Port and Rail project. That's a 13 billion rand project, the port, and the green port, which will be sustained by a massive rail network from our metal corridor in Katu to Bogo Bay. I don't know how many of you know where Bogo Bay is. Huh? You don't know? You don't know where Bogo Bay is? Okay. All right. I'll take you there one day and to go and experience the beauty of the Northern. And we also got a concrete commitment from SASO on the green hydrogen project, which will take place at Bogo Bay as well as an anchor project for the Bogo Bay SEZ. And that project, which we got from SASO, it's 10 billion US dollars. How much is that? It's almost 300 billion rand. And they were asking us lots of questions. The Sploma town resettlement and all of that, because there will be 6,000 pointed on this project. Concrete commitment from SASO, and there's teams already which are permanently placed here in the province to work with us on the technical details of the project. And you've got the Priska Power Reserve as well, 9.7 billion rand just here in Priska. That will turn the economic landscape of that town into something different. So we are gradually becoming the capital of green hydrogen. Since we started with the renewables, more than 60% of the renewable projects are here in the Northern Cape. More than 60%. The latest independent power purchase agreements that took place, all of them were here in the Northern Cape. Because we've got a beautiful sun, we also have got a beautiful wind here, windy energy. So I was told now something I don't know. That's the reason why we are going to become the capital of green hydrogen in South Africa, probably in Africa. There's massive opportunities that are there, and our responsibility as leadership is to cross the river by touching the stones. That's our responsibility. We need to cross the river by touching the stones. And that is a steady attitude of exploration in the face of new things. I did not know anything about green hydrogen up until I go to Europe, then I experienced how this thing works. But we've been entertaining more than 100 of presentations on green hydrogen. Only when you go there, European investment organ saying we are putting 9.7 billion rand into this thing, and then you see it, how it works. So our responsibility, have that attitude of exploration in the face of new things. You can't get ourselves dragged into our own cocoons and pretend as if we live in a province which is an island of the world. The world is becoming a global village now, smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And our responsibility is to look at how best we position our province in the best way that helps us to address the triple burden of underdevelopment, which is poverty, unemployment, and inequality. So we are welcoming the first team into this new construction company. And company will depend on your commitment, isn't it? The attitude people will derive about this company, it all depends on your attitude. If you think it's time now that you've got employment, when there's work to be done, all of you congregate under a tree and you even sleep there. Those are things that we experience on daily basis. People congregating under a tree and they sleep there in overalls. You pass at 8 o'clock, they are still sleeping. You come back at around 11 o'clock, they are still sleeping there under the tree. It's just hours going by. And if that's the kind of attitude that we are going to adopt, you must know that you are messing up a brilliant concept that could serve and give an opportunity to somebody else again one day. And some of the things we're experiencing, I came to a group of workers and I had to count them one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You guys are 14. And all of you, you've got working equipment. They are just digging such a small hole. They are 14. 14, yes. I counted it. They got so embarrassed. Our premier, we think that you are just stopping here to greet us. No, but I'm just stopping to see what you guys are doing. 14. All of them, like the lesser Harvard, they are just standing there. Such a small hole. So I said, this kind of attitude does not help anyone, because most of the work of the Northern Cape Construction Company is about social infrastructure in the main. Putting up infrastructure. We've got better service delivery. Neighborhood is clean. There's no potholes and all of that. And if you sleep under a tree for the whole day, you're actually robbing your neighborhood. So we hope that this company will create a necessary impression and it will experience the necessary growth. And as I have mentioned here, we are the first province in the country to establish a state-owned construction company. Nobody has done that. First. First in the country. We asked for notes from other provinces. They said, we don't know what is it that you guys want to do. That was the establish a construction company for government. We don't know what is that. So we are the first. And we must make this a success. We have to make it a success. Other provinces must come and share notes with us on how best to do it. And I firmly believe that with the kind of leadership that we have there in Nceda, we are strengthening the capacity of Nceda, which is the Northern Cape Economic Development Agency. With that leadership that we have there, and the leadership of the MEC of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, this will be we have to come and see the growth. Call you after another year to come and see the growth. And next time when you come here, the employees of this company should be sitting there on the stages there because they don't fit inside. With a massive rollout of skills development program. Accredited skills development program. So that's what we are looking at. And let me take this opportunity to thank both the executive mayor of Solplaatje and the executive mayor of the district municipality, Francis Bar District Municipality. We call it Dum Dum. And those who know the executive mayor of the district municipality would know why we call her Dum Dum. Her name is Dum Dum. You'd understand. But in time, with the establishment of the company, it's Women's Month. And how many of you are women there? 17. Only 17 women. And we'll have to improve on that. Yes, we'll have to improve on that and take and bring more women on board And when women get an income, you are guaranteed it will go home. So with us, you don't know where it goes. You always have got a funny way of explaining where it went. But with women, it goes straight home. So I think the company must adopt a principle of 50-50 now. Isn't it? Yes, it must adopt a principle of 50-50. And for our women who are part and parcel of this program, it's your month. If you don't become a victim of gender-based violence, you must stand up proudly with your head and shoulders high and say, I'm not going to become a victim of gender-based violence. I dare any man to come and try that with me. So that's the message that we are basically giving you. We want to see you succeeding in this program. That's what we want to see, growing in this program. We want to see you as supervisors. From the supervisors that we appointed, I'm told that they're supervisors. How many are women? None. Supervisors? 9. None. All supervisors are not appointed as yet. Okay, with the appointment of supervisors, it should be 50-50, isn't it? Yes, 50 men and 50%. Minimum 50% women. So colleagues and all our guests, thank you very much for being part and parcel of this launch. We highly appreciate your presence, and let's all put our shoulders together to make this thing work. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, Premier. Look, I think to the candidates here, who are the new employees of the construction company, the expectations are very high. So we can't repeat the same mistakes that we see outside. I'm not going to repeat what the Premier was saying, but just to say it's an opportunity, PPE. The only thing that my MEC told me was that it cannot be orange like the one of Soplaiki. So my MEC was saying, we must distinguish, MEC, sorry for exposing you, but I think you are trying to say something so that you are visible, we can see you. I can stop at any point in time when I see you idled. And any MEC or any HOD or any director in government can stop and say, but guys, why are you standing here for the whole day and not doing any work? Thanks, Premier. I think your words were very powerful, but what the colleagues don't know is a huge infrastructure that we are working on to industrialize this province. You see, I always say national strategy is to re-industrialize, but for the province, we are actually industrializing because we never really industrialized. And for us to drive that, we'll need infrastructure. Yes, there's going to be a focus on social infrastructure by the construction company, but for everyone else, there's also economic infrastructure that we're going to be. Nondumiso Buddha, just to come and give us a vote of thanks. Then thereafter, we'll then be able to look at the instruments that are here, have a few interviews, talk about the project itself. Executive Mayor, your turn.
No, thank you very much, Program Director, Honorable Premier, Dr. Zamani Soul, members of the Executive Council, HODs of departments present here, executive mayors and councillors, municipal managers present, small businesses present, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege to be standing before you. My role, ours is to find an amicable solution to this impasse, a solution that will lift the burden on the shoulders of our poor communities that are needy. It will be a disgrace if we endorse a solution which seeks to enrich businesses operating in our province. Let me revisit a teaching of one of our greatest philosophers, which is Chairman Mao, when quote, "Our duty is to hold ourselves responsible to the people. Every word, every act, every policy must conform to the people's interest. And if mistakes occur, they must be corrected. That is what being responsible to the people means," close quote. Allow me once more to quote from one very important philosopher, Terry Pratchett, open quote, "It is important that we know where we come from, because if you do not know where you're coming from, then you do not know where you are. And if you do not know where you are, you do not know where you are going. And we have to go forward with our heads held high up, but also look back and remember where we are coming from," close quote. We remain steadfast in our commitment to create a better life for all the people of the Northern Cape through clean and accountability and transparent, a government that is transparent, and we will not tolerate corruption on the delivery of maladministration and lethargy at both political and administrative leadership level. As I conclude, we must appreciate the government's continuously investment and commitment in the economic development of our province. With those words, allow me to thank each and everyone who contributed in the success of this launch. Onze baie dankie.
No, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Mayor, sorry. Just to remind you, colleagues, in the foyer, there is a free Wi-Fi, password Kimberly with a capital K. So take enough pictures, post them on your social media, and share with the one of government as well, just to make sure that the event itself gets the necessary clicks. I'm not sure what they say. I'm still dealing with clicks based on my age, but it gets the necessary viewership that we need. Colleagues, friends, the leadership in government, both province and municipality, guests, we've come to the end of the launch. There is something that was prepared. I'm not sure if it's still there, just to snack. And then there'll be sufficient time then to interact. The program has come to an end and the program is adjourned. Thank you.